Well everyone, it is that time again where we look at the newest update for Cold War Zombies, and this is a pretty big one since the new season for Black Ops Cold War has came out, and with the release of Season 3 it has most definitely brought a lot of new content with it. I'll kick us off with the most exciting bit of news right now, and that is a new ability has been added. It's called Toxic Growth, and I'll read the ability and what it does, and I'll also read the upgrades out as well, and then just tell you how I feel about it when I used it for the first time. So, Toxic Growth, what is its deal? You know, what is the real pull towards this field upgrade? And I'm going to read it to you now. It says, summon a deadly growth of thorns in front of you. Enemies moving through it are slowed by 50% and take toxic damage. And when you shoot this thing, you basically just summon something straight out of Zetsubo, like some kind of weird thorn plant from that. I've even got the default standard version of Toxic Growth here, which is what I tested out. But let's talk upgrades, and I'm going to start with Tier 1, and that will double the health of the growth. Tier 2 will increase the maximum charges to 2. Tier 3 will double the damage enemies take while moving through the growth. Tier 4 will increase maximum charges to 3. And Tier 5, enemies killed by the growth explode, dealing toxic damage to nearby enemies and slow them by 50% for 3 seconds. I feel like Toxic Growth is probably a lot better when it's fully upgraded, because the default normal version of it just is not good at all really. Unlike the base Ring of Fire or the base Aether Shroud, they at least have something that is useful even without any of the upgrades, so I would recommend just upgrading it first. Now, in some very important news here, before I even get into anything else, we have news about DLC 3, aka the new Zombies map, and although I've got to admit it's not very good news. Treyarch actually uploaded a video on their channel when Season 3 dropped, and this was a Season 3 studio broadcast. And on the Zombies section, when a new map gets brought up, Craig Houston says that a new round-based Zombies map will be in a future season, probably Season 4. And oh my god, the alarm bells in my head are ringing. That is a while away. You gotta remember, every season is about, I don't know, 2 months, and so we may not be getting a new map for 2 months. And if that's not bad enough, just think, Craig said probably, okay? He said probably Season 4, but he said it in a way as if he wasn't too sure, and this could potentially mean that we might have to wait 4 months just for a new round-based map, and that's a very long wait, and I really hope that this isn't the case, because that is just such a long time to be waiting. But it seems like they want to make Outbreak their golden child right now. They want to be adding loads of stuff to Outbreak, which I'm not against because I love Outbreak, but I personally think they should focus on the round-based maps, because that is, you know, the bread and butter of Zombies, which is the main thing that really draws everyone in. I don't know if we'll have to wait that long, but we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. But speaking of Outbreak, they've actually added quite a few things to Outbreak, and this includes new vehicles, and one of the vehicles they added is this big truck, and it has a mounted machine gun on it, and if you go onto it with Elemental Pop, the effect carries over. You can use Elemental Pop with this turret, and I think that's just a little cool feature there. They added a new little side quest activity in Outbreak, and it's marked with a little crystal. It literally just looks like an ether crystal. If you go over to it on your map, you'll see this crystal, and it's not like the purple ones you're used to seeing. It's actually this fiery looking crystal, and if you destroy it, it'll activate a trial where you basically have to keep running around the area and finding as many as you can. I think there's about 8, and you have to be really quick with it, because I tried doing it and oh my god, I was not fast enough. So if you find yourself trying to take this on, stay sharp. If you fail, you'll hear a laughing sound, but if you manage to succeed, you actually get a really interesting reward, and it's called an ether tool, and it will give you whatever gun you're holding an upgrade in rarity. This isn't the only way you can obtain these ether tools, so don't worry, they're just kind of part of the loot pool. Same with these ammo mods they've upgraded, which you can just get by picking them up. You don't have to go to Pack-a-Punch. Sometimes you'll open a chest and you might find a blast furnace or something like that, or a dead wire on the floor that came from the chest. I think it's a really cool little addition, and it switches the game up a little bit because it might encourage you to change your ammo mods a little bit more. And speaking of chests, you can also find the little chests that were in the maschine, which you could use to upgrade your Die Shockwave wonder weapon to one of the elemental versions. Once again, just another nice little feature here, especially for people who really enjoy the Die Shockwave and upgrading it. At the edges of the maps, you'll be able to find these little portals, and if you go in them, you'll actually just be able to be a bit higher up in the air, and you'll be able to, like, you know, parachute. And essentially I feel like this has just been added as a quality of life update, just so that you can, you know, get to certain parts of the map a lot easier, so you're not running around all the time, because oh boy does that get really annoying. And jump pads cost points, and sometimes you don't want to use them because you need the points, but you also want to get round faster, so I feel like this is a good compromise. And if you ever find yourself stranded at the edge of a map, this should really come in clutch. And one more thing for Outbreak here, which just makes me laugh just thinking about it right now, is that there is a literal meme in zombies now. So does anyone remember the Ronald Reagan meme? Because I sure do. Turns out they've actually added a zombie with like a pink mohawk, and you can kill it and it drops a ray gun. And if you look at its health bar and like the name of the enemy, which is just above the health bar, it literally is called Ronald Reagan. I think that is amazing. Really reminds me of the coffin dance Easter egg, and I hope Treyarch add more stuff like that because it's so good to see, and I'll never not get tired of little dumb things like that. And plus you do get a free ray gun, so it seems like a pretty fair trade to me. So remember, when you're next in an Outbreak match, keep those eyes peeled for a big ol' pink mohawk. There's also another small feature that's been added, and it can actually be very useful, especially for people who are trying to speedrun to certain rounds. And when you're in Outbreak, all you have to do is knife the beacon when you start warping, and you'll actually skip around. I just thought that was a pretty cool little thing, and as far as I know, that is new with this update. Moving on to some weapon changes, and the reason I'm mentioning these is because they're a pretty big deal right now, and that is we have the PPSH back in zombies. Welcome home, Mr. PPSH. We've all missed it. It's something I'm sure we've all wanted to see back, and it is here. You can unlock this for free in the battle pass at tier 15. And if there's any weapons that you're wanting to unlock but don't want to drag yourself over to multiplayer where you'll probably be in for the worst time of your life with all of the skill-based matchmaking, then you can actually now just unlock them in zombies. There are certain challenges you can do to unlock these weapons in zombies, which finally I'm so glad we have that. And since we're on about weapons, I should probably get this bad news out of the way, and that is that the Hauer 77 shotgun has been nerfed. It's still viable, it's still powerful, but it's never ever gonna feel the same. And speaking of nerfs, Deadwire and Shatterblast have both been nerfed as well. I mean, that is absolutely just brutal. I'm sure there's a joke in there about how shocking it is that Deadwire got nerfed, but I'm not even gonna make it today. And Shatterblast was really good as well. It just sucks that they've all been nerfed. And I get that Treyarch want to make it so that they are all viable, but I feel like nerfing these into oblivion just isn't the right thing to do here. It just feels like they're hitting it way too hard. But at least Napalm Burst has been buffed. You know, that's cool. I mean, it says here that they doubled all the damage effects, so that's great, but just go easy on Deadwire and Shatterblast, especially Deadwire. That is, I think, the second or third nerf now. So it's just a big rip for Deadwire and Shatterblast, okay? Rest in peace. And I think that's about it for all of the important Cold War Zombies news for the edition of Season 3. There's been some good stuff, been some pretty sad stuff, especially DLC 3 potentially not being available for another 2 to 4 months, but I hope we're not waiting too long for it. Anyways, I'm gonna leave this video here today. If this was informative or you enjoyed the video, then be sure to smash the like button, comment your thoughts on this update down below, and only a very small percentage of people are even subscribed to the channel, so if you're still here or you just enjoyed the video, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell too to stay notified for whenever I upload another video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.